Hey everybody, it's the Last Robokai here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Space Marine. Last time we reenacted the introduction to Half-Life. That's about as good as it gets. We went into a chamber, handled something we probably shouldn't have, and everything exploded. That does sound like the introduction to Half-Life, doesn't it?
I had never noticed that similarity until you just mentioned it.
And joining me as always is...
Yo guys, it's Cool Guy, and possibly going along with my experiences on Half-Life, I think I will be continuing to disapprove of everything professional that Drogan does.
Yeah, you could barely describe what he does as professional. Well, Capten Tightest has been exploded, but he's not out, and let's go see how his adventures shall be proceeding. Rise and shine, Capten Tightest.
Just get your coffee, it'll be fine.
Yeah, oh yeah, now you get it. Idiot.
Sidonus, Leandros, respond.
Captain, the Inquisitor insisted you could not have survived.
Well, I did, and I have his precious power source.
We set a rendezvous in Hab Center Andris. These tunnels will spit us out there eventually.
Fine. Continue heading toward the Hab Center.
Well, we're back on our own again, and proceeding through the waste management tunnels, which are, once again, ridiculously huge.
Sewer levels, you can't even get away from them in Warhammer 40k games.
So why am I shooting these? Also, I love this guy's can-do attitude. I couldn't help it. It was just...
I also love how matter-of-fact Titus is about surviving. It's just like, the Inquisitor said you couldn't possibly have survived. Well, I did.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Well, no, like, he's not a fellow that questions these sorts of things, he just rolls with it. You can see orcs are beginning to loot the weapons that are in the Mechanicus. They're starting to put them in their loot piles.
that always struck me as the weirdest taunt for orcs to have. Again, shoot me again. Okay, I'm in the middle of that.
Just in case, they didn't want you to, like, leave the job half finished. So I don't know who did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you did that, but that was an explosion enough to make me happy.
Yeah, these sewers have some big booms around the place. It's always quite fun.
Makes you wonder why in the hell you've got booms around what is nominally going to be human waste. I mean that just seems like a bad combination for everybody involved.
Oh, I didn't think of it as human waste. I thought of it as waste of, like, everything else, you know, bits they didn't make and everything like that.
Oh, that's even better. You know, instead of human waste, you now have toxic polymers.
Well, that's okay. Space Marines can breathe in those.
Yeah.
They can survive in cold, hard vacuum for like a few minutes without their goddamn helmet on. They can take a few bad coughs.
No, I'm not saying that it's a problem for the Space Marines. I'm saying it's a problem for you know, the Hive-Ham complexes above.
Oh, they're fine. It all gets flushed out somewhere else. In fact, I think we go where it all gets flushed out later, but...
I don't remember, to be perfectly honest. I do remember enjoying the carnage that was happening around here when I was playing, though.
Yeah, because I don't see a facility like this, really. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it is for poops. Who knows? I don't know why I picked those grenades up.
Possibly it is for all of the above.
Yeah, it's it looks like a maze. It really isn't, but there's just lots of. No, it doesn't take more than that to kill an orc. I just love. It's like I'm ruining this place.
I like how that shooter was just like, oh, okay, you got me, I'll slump over now. He's just like completely dejected.
Also, yes, the game will be doing that for a bit. Dropping squigs on you if you want to just run through these corridors and not have to, like, you know, waste your time not killing anything.
It kind of reminds me of just like, you know, the stereotypical atmosphere set by Aliens. You know, kind of narrowish hallways or whatever, really a little light, and you know you don't really know what's going around the corner. Of course, you know when the balance of power here is slightly different. Marines versus necromorphs is pretty scary. A heavily armored Marine that walks and moves a lot like a tank is a little bit harder to intimidate.
Mm-hmm. Now, I guess the orcs know we're here, because here they come en masse. They're Scar boys and they're angry boys and they're. I like that actually. He stumbled because I bounced a grenade off his face. Did you notice that?
Yeah. It's just like I always like to think that there's a little bit of indignation in the orcs at that point. It's just like, did you just throw a rocket? Oh.
Well, that's all right then.
I mean, if you're throwing something that explodes, at least you're taking this seriously.
Also, don't melee someone when you get a sticky bomb on them. I thought I'd missed him, but that's why I did it. Alright. That's enough nonsense. Unfortunately, this means that when he turns up, I'd make rather short work of the Evie knob. Yeah, sorry dude.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
I did love the back and forth you had there, though. You just kept backing up and giving ground, and then you lost your temper and everything died.
and then I just sort of moved back up to where I was to start with, before everyone got in my way. It's interesting you mentioned Capten Tightest's temper. We'll talk about it after this.
I was right. For days I tracked that signal coming from beyond the sun. I didn't tell Transmechanic First Class Alaric because I didn't want to be ridiculed. And today, I heard voices. The signal's an Orc fleet heading straight for Grya. That's when I told Alaric. You should have seen the shock on his face. If he'd believed me a week ago, we would have had that much more warning. He was wrong. I was right. Finally.
And now you're both dead.
Well, who knows? Maybe he ran a lot sooner. Nah, he's probably dead. But good work, Petronius. But yes, one of the things from Titus's character is that he had a bit of an anger problem when he was a young Marine.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
It's in his profile on the now no longer existent Space Marine website. He apparently that was one of the things in his backstory. God damn it! Fucking squigs. No, I love that bit. Yeah, he just another one of these idiots. But then they go and do this for you, and it's like, oh, the first one didn't work out for you? That's okay. We got a second one
And a third
one. And just go down, please. Thank you. And then he just drops. Now that's proper waste disposal, ladies and gentlemen.
Get that crap off where people are walking.
That's a safety hazard. The orcs may not exhibit it, but we sure will. Yeah, so Titus has a few things about him. He's got a bit of a complex because, well... Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let's stop talking about complexes. Let's start talking about awesome stuff. It's time for my favorite gun in the game.
Access granted.
The melter gun.
This is a good gun.
Yes.
Even here, the tech priests honor their machine god.
Yes, and also roast waste. The melter gun will need no description of what it does, because that's what it does.
Yup. It's basically the best shotgun ever created.
You know, most people have shotguns that shoot, you know, well, ballistics. This one just superheats the air directly in front of you.
It's microwaves.
And everybody standing in front of him just, like, melter gun. Like, to give you an idea of what's going on here, the melter gun is traditionally anti-armor. It's close range anti-armor. In the tabletop, the closer you are when you fire it, the more effective it is. If you're like within like a certain range of it, it'll do extra armor penetration. And so the melter gun is just, it is just perfect for taking care of everything. You can drop someone's health down so fast with that, and it just chews through boys, and it chews through them in a radius because, like, you know, nothing stops the blast. It just goes straight through.
Because it's microwaves. It was interesting. Oh, Skull.
We're almost out of sterile dressings. I haven't even begun to treat the new burn victims yet.
You can't treat them. Give them something for pain, but that is all.
I am the Magos Biologis. No wound or malady is beyond me.
You are in a triage situation. Observe, analyze, and decide who we can save.
Yep, the realities of war is that, well, your fancy, sciencey stuff just don't really quite count some more. It is nice to see, like, a Magos biologist actually give a shit about the people he's working on, though.
That's really depressing, but completely practical.
Yeah, triage in wartime is, you know, that's about as
depressing
as good as you're gonna get. Yeah.
But yeah, the thing about melta guns is, yeah, it is really designed to be used against tanks. So I mean, if you're a certain kind of nerd, you sort of just imagine you imagine somebody like Leandros saying, "Why are you doing this? This is not the Codex Astartes way," and he's just like clawing at his eyes with how distraught he is over using a freaking anti-armor weapon on these light infantry or whatever, and you're just like, it's so much fun.
Don't worry, Leandros. There's also ammo lying around. Well, he's gonna get mad with the next weapon we get then, because like it's a similar situation.
I am all sorts of okay with using too much force.
Mm-hmm. Well, the orcs have it coming, really.
Okay. So we've got a minute now. Now I want to hear about this temper thing, because this is new to me. God bless it.
Well, don't worry. This is just something that extends how long our.
I know. I was just being a nut.
It's always nice.
All right, so
yep.
Now I want to hear what's up with this temper problem.
Well, there isn't too much information on it. It's just that like he just had a real difficulty controlling his anger. Like they don't really go into it, and unfortunately they don't really go into it here either. But yeah, he just had like that was just a thing of his, and it was going to play into like subsequent sequels. And we'll talk about the subsequent sequels, like, you know, once we get to the end of the game, because you know it puts things into a bit more context.
There's also a few other things that happen in this game that put it a little bit in more context, which is why I'm showing so much interest in it.
Yeah, he also lost his entire squad that he was a part of at one point as well. Like, an enemy psyker basically took them all out. He was the only one who like survived, which is pretty rough. I mean, that's enough to give any Space Marine like an absolute
bit of a complex, to say the least.
Bit of a complex. At least he wasn't a Space Wolf, you see, because like the thing with the Space Wolf squads is they're basically just like you get assembled as a squad when you're Blood Claws. That's it. You're brothers for life, and essentially what happens then is that you stick together through thick and thin, but you don't get reinforcements to that squad when someone dies. Your pack is your pack. They're your brothers, and well, you know, once you get to the state where you guys might be Longfangs by the end of it, there's not as many of you left, and sometimes one of them is the only one left, and that's really hard for them to deal with. So it could be worse.
It could be one of those Gretchen that just sort of get short punched in the face and evaporate. That is never going to get old for me.
He deserved it.
He totally deserved it.
You don't go. I mean, like, he's barely knee-high to a... Oh, wait, people. Hey, guys.
Capten Tightest.
Well met, brothers. Any idea of our position?
We should be nearing an access point to the surface. The air smells a bit cleaner.
I've had enough of tunnels. Let's get out of here and find the Inquisitor before the orcs do.
And we're back to a party of 3.
I've always kind of imagined that Titus was speaking for the player there. I'm tired of tunnels. Yes, we are.
It's just, that's the tunnels, the orcs, way too many of them in there. Now, you can very easily just go straight down there and start fighting, but in Testrons I found it's never a bad thing to just you know, draw a few of them up here, take care of it, because there are a lot of rocket boys down there, and they are, like, the more rocket boys you have in an area, the quicker your health just drops. Like, it evaporates straight up.
The thing about rocket boys and the brilliance of their design is that they're not inherently more dangerous than a shoot-a-boy, but because of the fact that they can hit you with indirect fire and in an area, it's substantially harder for you to get decent enough cover to heal yourself. So I mean, they work very well with the rest of the greenskin horde in simply wearing you down.
Yeah, it's a pain. Like, when I went in there, like, you can see I'm sticking around the stairs still, because I went out there in a test run and just got massacred. Like, they absolutely brutalized me. Now things are a little easier, but you can still see I ate a lot of my shields off on that one. And a lot of boys start rolling in as well.
Right. I mean, even if you had most of your shields left, that Digga comes in and spawns a whole new wave. This place gets hairy really quick.
This area is really great to show you just exactly how much of a radius the melter gun's cone is as well, because you saw then it was brushing up against buildings and all manner of things as it whooshed through. I love that fire effect too on the ground, just in front of when you fire it. Everything burns.
Considerate of the green scum to open the way.
At last, a way to the surface.
Freaking bottomless pit out of nowhere.
This place is just built on bottomless pits. Perhaps the Mechanicus guys designed it so that if people in the hab blocks got a bit rowdy, they could just drop the entire hab blocks into the core of the planet too.
Well, I'm starting to think that that's just part of the architecture codes around here. Everything must be dumpable into the core.
Yeah, and we'll be ending it there because Chapter 8 of the game is lousy with action. It's like just full of stuff and full of audio logs. I think it's got the highest concentration of audio logs in the game, like 8 in one area. And when you consider that in some areas we've had like 1 or 2, that's pretty impressive. And honestly, it's got a set piece. It's got quite a few set pieces that, you know, should be able to rest on their own merits. So we've gotten through that. Next time on Let's Play Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine, we'll be hooking back up with Drago. Drago? That's a different Inquisitor completely, Drogon. We'll be hooking up with Drogon, in spite of our better sensibilities, and we'll be learning much more about this wacky, crazy power source that we've now got hanging dangerously from our hip, clinging against the power armored hip, and we're going to do something even stupider with it. Because doing stupid things is exactly what we're good at.
No doubt at Drogon's insistence. You can just imagine me flipping him off forever. Just, my finger will never get tired.
Well, we'll see how it all goes. Until then, I've been the Last Robokai.
And I've been Cool Guy.
I'll see you all next time.